Hello, Linda from Barlates Body Blitz here, and little Minnie in her box bed. Today we're doing another walk and talk. It's going to be about 20 minutes. We're going to change the exercise every 60 seconds. I'm going to use a small ball to kind of push in against for some exercises and to hold in one hand for others. So you can definitely use a dumbbell instead, or just do the whole workout without. We're going to change exercises every 60 seconds for about 20 minutes. And if you don't like any of the exercises, just walk in place or dance around, do whatever you want. It's meant to be a feel-good workout. We're going to get started with just walking in place. So I'm turning my timer on. Let me just reset my stepper so I can see how many steps we do by the end of it. So I just want you to pick up your knees, maybe twist a little bit through the waistline, put a bit of pressure on that ball. Nice tall spine. Deep breaths and a smile on your face, because we should be glad that we can move, right? It's such a wonderful thing that we can move our bodies, and hopefully you've taken some time today for yourself to just do something that's kind for you. So these walking workouts, they're not designed to kind of kill you. They're designed to give you the ability to just get your blood pumping, bit of a sweat on, a bit of a heart rate increase, but without anything too intense. And it's more of a cortisol friendly type walk today. So we're not going to go crazy at all. We want to keep our stress levels in a relaxed state. We're not totally relaxed, we want a bit of a heart rate rise, but we want to make sure that we're not stressing ourselves out unnecessarily with our workouts, because we have enough stress in our lives, right? And when it comes to wanting to be kind to yourself, because that has to be the foundation of well-being, right? Learning to accept yourself where you're at, still push yourself to get better, but not beat yourself up, and get to a point where you love yourself enough to make decisions that are going to be healing in some way to your mind, to your body, and to bring you joy ultimately, right? That's what we've been talking about a lot in my walk and talks. And today I wanted to touch on the topic of building new healthy habits. Let's go 2 across and 2 back. Ball pushes in front and in. And if you're pressing in on that ball, you should be starting to feel your pecs lighting up. So may as well get a little bit of pec work in there. So when we create new healthy habits, it is very easy to kind of go all gung-ho and decide I'm going to stop eating sugar, I'm going to eat more vegetables, I'm going to eat more protein, I'm going to exercise every day. And that's what people do at New Year, isn't it? Just create these goals of everything they want to achieve, and often they try and do everything all at once. But how long does that usually last? I think all of us have an example of when we've tried to do too much too soon, right? And often we can maintain it for a little while, but then we tend to fall off the bandwagon. Let's do heels in front with figure 8 arms. You can keep it lower or make it really big. Get your waist involved, kind of lean into it. So, what works better? Well, one of the things that I've been thinking about is that when you're trying to create a healthier lifestyle, adding things in is easier than taking things away. So I don't know what it is, but when someone says to you, don't do this, don't do that, don't think about the pink elephant, what do you typically go and do? You do the opposite, right? All of a sudden, all you can do is think about the pink elephant or XYZ, whatever it is that they're telling you not to do. That becomes the most alluring thing all of a sudden, even if you weren't thinking about it before. So let's go side to side and then up and up. So just stepping side to side, pushing front, pushing up for 2. So it's the same thing when we tell ourselves. Okay, we often kind of go, other people telling us, we don't like being told what to do. But we don't like being told what to do by ourselves either, really, do we? And that's why we can kind of control ourselves for a certain amount of time. But often then we find every excuse to stop doing that new behavior. So let's use an example. For example, you want to start eating more healthily. And there's numerous things that you want to stop eating, like chocolate, like sugar, soft drinks, takeaway. And you decide, okay, that's it. Monday, I'm going on a clean eating diet, and I'm definitely only eating salad. Let's go. Slow down the pace, figure 8 arms, and pick up your leg. Now, if you want knees instead of straight legs, you can. I'm slightly bending forward and almost trying to tap my ball. Otherwise, you're here. This one's going to get the heart rate up, so I'm slowing it down a little bit, and you can slow it down even more. So you're like, okay, Monday, I'm starting. No sugar, no this, no that, only salad, blah, blah, blah. So you might be able to maintain that for a few days, maybe a week. Maybe some can't even do that, depending on how many times you've tried to do it already. Your body already knows what's coming, right? And you kind of already have built that doubt in from all of the times that you've tried it before and you fell off the bandwagon. Why is it that now you think you're going to be able to do it? Up and up, side and side. Now let's go up and up 2, and then grapevine across. 2 steps across, and then grapevine across, and I'm twisting into my waist. Twist, 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 twist. So you're telling yourself in your mind that I'm going to do this, but your nervous system knows that really, you don't have a good track record with this. I don't actually believe what you say anymore. I think you're going to fall off the bandwagon again. So the fact that you haven't been able to achieve it in the past causes this kind of cognitive dissonance in you. And you're almost setting yourself up for failure again. So why not try something completely new? For example, adding something in instead of taking it away. Push across. Fast transfer in the middle, push. Otherwise, maybe use both hands if you find it too hard to keep that ball in check. Really reach. So maybe all you need to do is say to yourself, I'm going to increase my protein intake. Go online, find a good, reliable protein calculator, find out how much protein you should be eating, and diligently increase the amount of protein you eat every single day. And perhaps do the same with water or vegetables, but don't do too many things. Just slowly increase the things that you're adding in and increase the healthy habits you're forming, right? Because if you start small and you succeed, then you're going to build that self-belief that you can do it instead of all of the history that you couldn't do it. Ball overhead and bring it down towards your knee. So start small and start by adding something in. So why does it help to add in protein, for example, when you're trying to healthy eat? Well, protein makes you feel full. So you could eat protein before you eat other foods, and you'll find there's only so much steak you can eat. There's only so much chicken breast you can eat. There's only so much tofu, lentils, chickpeas, nuts and seeds you can eat, right? And by the time you fill yourself up with what you said you would add in, and you're keeping that promise to yourself, then you won't have room to fit as much junk. You might just feel so satiated that you don't want to even eat any junk. And that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes you will still fit it in. Now I'm going to come side to side, pick up that ball and reach towards my toe. Flat back here, big side lunge. So even though you might not change much else in your diet, overall, the amount of volume of junk you are eating is going to decrease simply because you added in all of that lean protein. Lean protein being the key. I forgot to say that before. I'm not just talking about KFC protein. I'm talking about healthy lean protein. So by doing that, you're tricking your body. You're not depriving it of anything. You can still eat all of the food you wanted to eat, but you're putting in all those extra calories in good protein, which will just stop you from getting so hungry for the other food. Get what I'm saying? So let's just go slow, side to side, elbow to knee. So do you see what I mean by adding something in helps to kind of psychologically appease that part of our brain that doesn't like to be told what to do, that doesn't like to be deprived? So just work with it. If you know that's how it works, if you know that from past experience, every time you've tried to deprive yourself, it hasn't worked, then try something new. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Same thing goes with exercise. Don't kind of say to yourself, okay, I'm going to do X amount of hours. I'm going to add a weighted vest or ankle weights to every single workout. I'm going to, increase the intensity. Let's just walk in place. How about we just do a few holding it on the left side and then change it and really reach your arm in front. Saying that you're going to stick to it every single day and just being too harsh on yourself. Once again, your body is going to feel deprived because it's not able to have the energy to do the other things that you might want to do in life if you're beating yourself up at the gym. So in that case, it's kind of not so much the whole adding rather than taking away. It's more about the habit forming starting small so that you are able to make sure that you keep the promises you make to yourself. So by starting small and saying, okay, I'm just going to increase my exercise by say 5 minutes each time I work out. That is, let's go side to side and bring the ball down to the hip. That is a much better plan. Just start small, and then once you've achieved that, then add on something else, habit stack. Maybe when you're exercising, you choose to use a monitor of some kind. Monitor your heart rate, monitor your calories, monitor something, and then the following week, try to go a little bit harder. Do things that are doable, that are maintainable. Not short bursts, slow and steady wins the race, right? That's definitely kinder for yourself psychologically and physically. And then once you start to build those healthy habits, then you're able to keep going and gain momentum. And that's really, so let's go like an easy walk, front, back, back, and start to twist through the waist, push in on the ball. So by doing these things that you can maintain and that you succeed in, you learn to build trust in yourself and self-belief. You increase your self-confidence because now you've got some memories or you've got proof from past experience that you can do it. And therefore, it will motivate you to be able to do more and more. Whereas the converse, let's change legs, is also true. That if you go too hard too quickly and you deprive yourself and you fall off the bandwagon, then you're really just self-sabotaging yourself. You're proving to yourself that you can't do it. But really, that is a lie. It's simply you went too hard too soon, right? Let's prance in place and push that ball up and down. So it's a matter of trying to figure out your personal psychology and work with it rather than trying to just force yourself to do something. try to kindly figure out what's the best approach for you to succeed. You want yourself to win, be on your own team. You want to win at building those healthy habits, right? So don't go too hard too soon. And the underlying premise of all of this is that you're trying to implement those healthy habits because, like at the beginning I said, you need to do it because you love yourself, not because you're trying to punish yourself. That will never work either. Let's go side step with figure eight arms again. That will never work either. If you're doing things to punish yourselves, just think about training a dog. Of course, you can get some tricks out of the dog if you're cruel to the dog and beat it when it doesn't do the right thing. But imagine if you trained the dog and you rewarded it every single time it did something right. And maybe you just ignored it when it did it wrong. And you really highlight the positives. That dog is going to want to please you, and it's going to perform much, much better when you're loving and kind and rewarding the good behavior rather than trying to stop the bad behavior. So once again, you've got this notion of adding something rather than taking it away. Don't punish yourself. Reward yourself for good behavior. Don't punish yourself. I'm not saying you're a dog. Let's go back to butt kick, up with the ball in front. I'm not saying you're a dog or anything, but what I'm trying to say is people are very much like that too. They like positive reinforcement, and that means from yourself as well. Positive reinforcement. So why not set yourself a little goal, achieve that goal, and find a way of rewarding yourself for achieving it. Be your own cheer team. Be your own cheerleader, right? You're going to live with you for the rest of your life. And there's going to be many things in your time that you don't like, that you want to change. Do you think you're going to be able to change them by beating yourself up? By hating those parts of yourself? I don't think so. When we hate parts of ourselves, we are not in the nervous system state. Let's go side to side and just prance. Maybe widen your stance. We are not in the nervous system state for learning and for changing when we're beating ourselves up. Just like if someone else was trying to yell at us to do something or was speaking meanly or harshly to us, we would go into fight or flight. We would not be in the state of receiving, of relaxing, where we're able to change. We would be in this absolute fear-driven fight or flight state, where all of our blood rushes away from our thinking brain into our limbs, thinking a bear's chasing us, right? So when we do the same thing to ourselves, and we are harshly speaking to ourselves instead of kindly motivating, then exactly the same thing happens. We're in fight or flight. Let's walk in place now. We're in fight or flight. Let's go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're in fight or flight, and it stops us from actually being able to change. So we just keep punishing ourselves for something that we're not changing, but we don't realize that we're putting ourselves in a place where we can't actually change it. So why not change what we're doing and become kinder to ourselves and just try it? It might not be something that you've ever thought about. You've always just approached life in the same way. Why not try treating yourself with the same kindness that you would treat your child or your pet? And instead of punishing yourself when you're not able to do something, let's just go faster walking. This is our last round. Ball in one hand, pump those arms, and we'll change the hand halfway through. Just try it and see if the next thing that you set your mind to that you want to change, if you're able to add something in rather than take it away, And if you're able to do it with a mindset of being motivational and encouraging towards yourself instead of beating yourself on the head about it, see if you're able to achieve it any better. Do experiments on yourself. Everyone is different. Other hand, everyone needs to figure out what's best for them. But don't just keep hitting your head against the brick wall, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. It doesn't work, I promise you. Try adding in instead of taking away. Try being kind instead of being harsh with yourself. And that's pretty much all I have to say to you about that. I hope you enjoyed this walk. It kind of flew by for me, super fast. Definitely got my heart rate up. I felt a little bit more of a connection with my pecs using this ball. And even gripping the ball is really great for your hands. I suggest, guys, let some air out of your ball. It's so much easier to hold on to. When it's fully pumped up, it's almost impossible to hold it in one hand. Okay, I probably should have told you that at the beginning. Thanks so much for walking with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.